A mindset makeover involves changing the way you think about yourself, others, and the world around you. One way to do this is by changing your beliefs. Beliefs are the basic ideals that we hold as truths in our lives. They do not have to be based on absolute truths, but simply what we believe about things as true. And the truth is that we can be sincerely wrong about our truths. Most people don't question their beliefs. There are several reasons for it. One is confirmation bias. People have a tendency to seek out information that confirms their existing beliefs and ignore information that contradicts them. This makes it difficult to objectively evaluate the validity of their beliefs. Then you have cognitive dissonance. People experience discomfort when their beliefs are challenged, which can make them resistant to changing their beliefs. Some of our beliefs are passed down onto us from our families, communities, and cultures. These beliefs are deeply ingrained and may be seen as an integral part of our identity, and we don't want to change that identity. Even though some people intellectually know that some of their beliefs are disempowering, they don't question their beliefs because they fear uncertainty and discomfort. Or some of them may lack critical thinking skills like knowing how to critically evaluate information and arguments. Since most our beliefs are never questioned, they are seldom revised or changed. Our beliefs become hardened facts. It becomes the software that runs our mind. We are fearful when our beliefs are challenged. And we are comfortable as long as we keep finding validations to confirm what we believe is true. This documentary is about understanding and changing beliefs. But before we delve deeper, we need to know 3 things about beliefs that is crucially important. 1. Our beliefs are models of reality. It's like the nature of our reality, more like the filters through which we see the world. We interpret our world through beliefs, whether it's true or false. We need these beliefs to have a sense of something to be true. At least our version of the truth and our assumptions about how the world works.
We all possess our unique set of beliefs, and we have this construct of reality so that we can anticipate certainties in life about what works and what won't work. For example, one belief says, if you work hard, you can become successful. Another belief says, if you work smart, you become successful. Or another belief says, if you get lucky, you can become successful. Now, all these are different types of beliefs. Now, it need not be the truth, but each person's version of the truth. Because our beliefs are models of reality. It also shapes our reality. What beliefs does to us more deeply is that it helps us shape our reality we strongly expect. Beliefs build our expectations. That's why we manifest what we expect.
One of the most basic ways that beliefs can shape reality is through their influence on behavior. For example, if you believe that you're capable, competent, and deserving of your dream job, you're probably more likely to notice and seek out opportunities that could help you get there. You're also more likely to perform well in an interview. 2. Our beliefs interpret our experiences. Beliefs unravel what is real and what is not really based on what we believe is true. Henry Ford aptly said it right, if you think you can or you can't. Either way, you are right.
What is reflected in your beliefs is your reality. Now, 2 people can go through the exact same experience and yet come out of it completely different. Now, one person is stressed out, anxious, and needs medication to calm down. The other person shrugs it off and says, you know what, that was fun. 2 people going through same experience, but 2 different reactions to it. Now, that means most of what happens in our day-to-day life actually has nothing to do with us in many cases, but with how we perceive and interpret it. This means that when your beliefs are altered, your perception is changed. And when perception is changed, the experience can become totally different.
Because our beliefs interpret our experiences also shapes our identity. Our beliefs are so real to us. Over time, our beliefs begin to blend into our identity. Your belief in CrossFit makes you a CrossFitter. Your belief in climate change makes you an environmentalist. And your belief in primal eating makes you paleo. Your belief in vegetarianism makes you a vegan. When your beliefs and your identity are one and the same, changing your mind means changing your identity. 3. Beliefs are biased. The truth about beliefs is that they can be extremely biased, one-sided, and opinionated, more like the dictums and dogmas that we refuse to challenge, question, or revise from time to time. Our identities can be hardened by our beliefs, and we find it difficult to change. The truth of the matter is that what we believe need not be true. We can be sincerely wrong. Our narratives need not be truths about life. It's only your opinion about life, only your version of the truth you believe in. Your beliefs need not be an accurate description of reality itself. It can be corrupted, baseless, faulty assumptions.
When our beliefs are unchecked, it can run like a program that is faulty or corrupted. Therefore, examining our beliefs and making those changes are essential for personal transformation. So sometimes the big question to ask is, how do we keep a check on our beliefs? How do we know our beliefs? And one way to check our beliefs is through word association. What is the meaning you give to different things? The truth of the matter is that in our mind, we don't always give those dictionary meaning to things. We actually give our meaning to things, events, and people. We have our own way of interpreting them in our minds. What money means to you is different from another person's perspective about money. The definition of success means different things to different people. The word marriage means very positive to a couple who's just engaged, and it means something totally different to a person who's just filed for a divorce. So the meaning of words like happiness, time, relationships, be it politics, job, now they all differ from what others think about it or what you think about it at different junctures of your life. The meaning we give to one thing also changes over time. When we change the meanings, we shift our beliefs accordingly.
Beliefs do change over time. More like lessons learned in life, our beliefs about success can also change over time.
As a kid, you would have fantasized to be an astronaut. As a teenager, you thought of being popular, or as an adult, you thought about making material riches as a sign of success. After marriage, you thought being a happy meant success, and after being a parent's success meant a bright future for children. While you are through middle age and old age, being healthy became an ultimate sign of success. Time changes the meaning.
But the tragedy is that we wait so long for someone or something to change us for the better, while we always have the choice to do it intentionally and deliberately, right now in this present moment. The good news is that we can change our beliefs for the good. Beliefs can be changed by changing their very construct. This means by changing our thoughts, behavior, choices, decisions, responses, and actions we take, we can alter our beliefs. But it may sound easier said than done. It requires work, a lot of self-reflection and analysis to understand the analysis to understand the anatomy of beliefs themselves. So let's examine the anatomy of a belief. At the core of beliefs, we have core beliefs, which are fundamental to our worldview. Our core beliefs are supported by supporting beliefs or logical beliefs. These are reasons or the logical beliefs. These are reasons or the logical rationale we apply to support our beliefs. Think of a tabletop as a core belief that is supported by 4 legs that are logical beliefs. A perfect example of this is our confirmation bias, which is always on the lookout for supporting beliefs to make our core beliefs strong. If your core belief is that life is good, then you have supporting beliefs that validate facts like, we are living in a great time in human history. Life presents us lots of opportunities. I feel fortunate about my blessings in life. I am surrounded by good people, etc. If your core belief is the opposite, that life is bad, then you are supported by logical beliefs that prove people are mean. We are living in the worst of times. People are ruthless, cruel, and selfish. Bottom line, whatever may be the core belief, we are constantly confirming our supporting beliefs by adding logic and data to keep the core belief intact. This works more like a paradigm, and making that shift is not easy until you are ready to question and change your core beliefs itself, or until your supporting beliefs are shaken.
It's important to be self-aware of our beliefs if you want to change them. We must question our beliefs and assumptions. For this, we must become more self-aware and become aware of your beliefs and see how it's reflected in the reality of the situation. Since beliefs are more like our identity, one of the easiest ways to recognize our core beliefs is to pay attention to what we say or what we think after the word I or I am. What do you say after I am can either be positive or negative. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I'm incompetent. Everyone is better than me. I will never succeed. I am bad. I don't deserve anything. Everything I do is wrong. I am unlovable, undesirable, unattractive, ugly. Now, these are all negative beliefs. The opposite of that is positive beliefs. That comes with the phrase I am, followed by positive words like I am a work in progress, I'm a good person, I am competent, I am confident, I will succeed at this no matter what happens to me. I deserve to be happy and successful. I am lovable. I can make this happen, etc. So what do you say after the word I am? Question it. Identify it. That's your beliefs.
Bottom line, if you take a look at the nature of your beliefs, there are two types of beliefs primarily: the empowering beliefs and the disempowering beliefs. By its very nature, these are beliefs that will either expand you or limit you. The belief that acts like a fence that surrounds you is your limiting belief. Limiting beliefs act as a barrier, more like mental barriers that put a limitation on anything that you aspire to do or to become. Most of the limiting beliefs spring from imagined facts. The key is that you must become aware of the limiting ones.
What are your limiting beliefs that act as an obstacle to reaching your optimal potential? If you look closer at examining your limiting beliefs, you will learn that you are not born with them, but you have developed them unconsciously. Your brain stores both real and imagined experiences. Most of the limiting beliefs are imagined, made up facts in your head. Beliefs need not be based on facts. Beliefs can be reactions to what happened. Some of our limiting beliefs can be so deep-rooted presumptions and assumptions that we developed out of significant emotional experiences or traumas or other impactful emotional events, mostly from growing up days. As we grew older, we looked for more pieces of evidence to believe that what we believe is true. Our confirmation bias gave us all the support and logic to keep those beliefs at our core. So we start reinforcing our existing beliefs rather than questioning them or changing them. We also formed our beliefs through heterosuggestions, suggestions from other people like your parents, elders, teachers, and who would have made a significant influence in your life or in your upbringing. Heterosuggestions can form beliefs because sometimes we give more importance to what others have to say. We weigh others' opinion more than facts or what we think of ourselves.
You know, for me, a personal experience, I remember some of my guidance counselors, some of my teachers would constantly say to me, you know, you'll never be able to do this, or you'll never be able to do that, or why don't you apply yourself, or, you know, all these different things. And what I started to realize was as I grew up, I started to count myself out before I even started. You know, when I would go in to pick my classes, I would automatically pick Math 1 and Math 2 because I would say to myself, I'm not smart enough to do math. I'm not smart enough for algebra. I don't want to do this class because it's a little bit too challenging and I have a learning disability. And what I realized was I was never not smart enough. I was actually very intelligent and very smart, but I didn't learn that until a later age. And it took different mentors to be around me that seen the qualities in me that maybe I didn't see in myself. And all of a sudden it was different for me. They started telling me things that I could do. They were starting to tell me things that I was good at. And, that same way that somebody repetitiously told me that I couldn't do something, what if it was the other way? What if somebody else started telling me about the things that I could do? And I started to be thinking to myself, what if I am good enough? And I started to change everything that I started to negatively think from I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not good enough, to changing that in to I can do this. I am good enough. I am tall enough. I can do anything that I put my mind to.
We also formed our beliefs from what we've learned and experienced. Certain events in life can shift our perspectives. We can easily become clouded with assumptions about how the world works, our place in it, and what we are and we are incapable of. Over time, these beliefs become solidified and we act reflecting these beliefs in words, behavior, and actions. So if you're not getting the results that you're looking for, then first you must check on your beliefs. Our money beliefs determine our finances. Our beliefs in human relationships determine how we relate with other people. If you're not getting the results what you want, then first we must check on our beliefs, identify what our beliefs are, and then change it for the better.
So, start to look at your belief patterns. Start to challenge your own beliefs. Start to look at, why do I think the way that I think? And am I open to another way of thinking? Your current thoughts got you to where you are today. Everywhere you are today, this is going to be the hardest thing for most people to grasp. You are where you are today by every thought and every action that you've taken so far up to this point in your life. Now, when you take a look at your life today and you look at that result, you look at the R on the board. Are you where you want to be? And if the result is not where you want to be, start to look at some of your beliefs. Are you stuck in your own ways? I meet so many of my friends, so many of my different family members that unfortunately get into a certain belief pattern. And they always say, like, you can't teach a dog, an old dog new tricks. I don't believe that's always true, but I believe it's times true for some people. It depends on the person. Are you willing to look at yourself and challenge some of your old belief patterns and say, why do I think that way? I heard a story one time about a lady that was baking a meatloaf, and they would go to the mother and say, why do we bake the meatloaf in two different pans? And you know what the mother's response was? Well, that's just the way my mom always did it. So the daughter would be confused, and now the daughter was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to grandma. I want to go see, why do we bake in two different pans? And you know what happened when she went to ask the grandmother? You know what the grandmother said? Well, that's just the way my mother always did it. So we finally get to go back, and the daughter gets to the great-grandmother, and she gets to the great-grandmother, and she says, Gram, why do we bake the meatloaf in two different pans? And she said, well, honey, the meatloaf was too big and I didn't have a pan big enough, right? So think about how many things you do and that you just do it because that's the way it's always been done. And you just keep this habit up and you don't even know why you're doing it. That's what we call habits. We do them unconsciously because that's the way it's always been done. So take a look at your old belief patterns, look it down in your family tree, and look at yourself and say, am I in a generational curse, right? Do I think the way that I think because of the way that my father's father's father thought? And if that's not the way that I want to think, am I able to change that? Yes. And can I change that? And if I would change me, could I change that down the line? It starts with me. That was one of my biggest why factors in life. I thought, I look back in history and thought, you're telling me nobody from generation to generation to generation of a whole DNA lineage has ever changed their thinking up until me. How powerful is that to know that if I would take the time that I could change my mindset, I could change the way that I think, and I could affect not only my children, but their children and their children for generations and generations and possibly thousands of years to come. That's powerful.
If you want to change an outcome, then we must change our beliefs first. If beliefs are like a back-end program that is running in your subconscious mind impacting every choice you make in life, you can consciously change the program. Therefore, the first step is to identify your beliefs. Think of any area of your life in which you think you need help. Be it finance, relationships, or health. What's your belief about it? What is holding you back? What are your limiting beliefs around it? What are the logical reasons or events that supported your limiting beliefs? Start digging into your beliefs. Once you have figured out the beliefs that you hold that are not doing you any good, you need to substitute them. You need to replace limiting beliefs with empowering beliefs. There are many ways to develop empowering beliefs or replace negative beliefs with positive ones. There are many ways to change your beliefs for the good. One of the best ways to influence our mind is through repetition. We are what we repeatedly do. We are creatures of habit, and most of what we do every day, whether it is thinking, behaving, or doing, is repetition. Our identity is emerged out of habits. If you make your bed each day and arrange your clothes, you embody the identity of an organized person. When you train at the gym each day, you embody the identity of a fit person. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. Whatever your identity is right now, you only believe it because you have proof of it. If you visit your place of worship regularly, it means you are a religious person. If you visit more clubs every day and night, you are a party animal. The more evidence you have about your repeated behavior, the more it reveals your identity. If you get angry most of the time, you are an angry person.
Your beliefs are your identity. If you constantly reinforce your beliefs and repeat them, it forms your identity. The only way to change or to pick a new belief is to repeat them all over it till it becomes a part of your identity. So if you're lazy, the only way to change that is to work really hard. Stop that act of procrastinating things and get to work and finish all the tasks. That's a way of stop being lazy. So if you're obese or overweight, the only way to change that identity is to get fit and healthy. Eat healthy, eat right, exercise every day, and engage in those activities that support your physical transformation till you reach your ideal weight. So develop habits that support your ideal life. Pick a new task, a new empowering belief, new healthy behavior, and repeat them every day till it becomes a habit. Repetition is a key to open up new neural pathways.
Sometimes, when you look at some of the narratives and you look at some of the things that happen to us throughout our lives, we can't take back our past. We can't change our childhood. We can't, change the environment we grew up in. We can't change the neighborhood we grew up in. We can't change sometimes the influences and the friends that we were around due to the environment we were in. But, the one thing that I know is no matter what you do and what you think, you can become something different. And Napoleon Hill used to say, he had a very famous quote, and it said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. And what did he mean by that? He just meant any thought impulse into the mind, repetitiously thought over and over and over. Anything we think about over and over and over in the conscious mind will end up getting to the subconscious mind by repetition. A lot of times you hear of a lot of these diet programs, 21-day fixes, all these different things. What does that mean? Well, it takes about 21 days to create a new habit. So anything that we want to change, any habit that we want to, create a new habit of, we can do by repetitiously thinking about that thought over and over and over, and then putting a good emotion with that thought. Once we do that, it gets into the subconscious mind. From the subconscious mind, it sends it out to infinite intelligence. It sends it out to God. It sends it out into the universe. And then it comes back in the form of an idea. And all of a sudden, one day you'll be sitting there and you'll flash into your mind, why don't I go do this? Why don't I open that business? But you have to have that belief pattern, and you have to have the self-confidence, and you have to develop that over time. So if you don't have that and you have the limited beliefs, you can start to work on that today. You can look in the mirror today and say, why not me? You can look in the mirror today and say, I can do anything that I want to do. If somebody else could do it, why can't I? What if I could do it? Start questioning yourself, start questioning your old belief patterns, and start to make new ones today.
If you constantly reinforce that you are worthy of a great life, the chances are you will be able to create that life for yourself. Repetition is the key. The more you consciously repeat something that it becomes a subconscious part of your identity. The more you support a belief with evidence, the stronger the beliefs become. The more evidence you have for a belief, the more strongly you will believe it. Therefore, collect more supporting beliefs to make your core belief stronger. Repetition is the key. Fundamentally, habits are sequences of actions that we've learned to take. Focus on what you tend to repeat every day. Take stock of your habits. What sort of habits do you have? Think about the things you do every day. Make a list of healthy ones and unhealthy ones. What are your toxic habits? Make a list of the ones you want to change and write down a habit you want to replace it with. Here's an example. Make a switch from TV before bed to book before bed. Reach out to your spouse via phone instead of texting. Make small changes and do it consistently and incrementally, and you will be amazed at how it can make quantum shifts. Once you identify a good set of actions and behavior, repeat them and make them your new habits. Change the narrative. Beliefs are the stories about you. Stories about who you are, what you can, what you can't, what you fear, what frightens you, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, and many more. These stories are our narratives about reality, but our narratives need not be true. Most of it is not true, and most of it changes over time. Yet, most of it we believe it is true. The crazy thing about the stories we tell ourselves is that they actually become your life. Your stories become true. They are an ongoing, self-fulfilling prophecy. We become our stories.
Not only our narrative determines our experiences, but also if we change the story, we can change the narrative. And if we can change the narrative, we can change the experience. Our lives can be transformed simply by changing the stories we tell ourselves and choosing better stories over the sad ones. For example, something would have happened in our life and we can call it probably a bad episode. The event would have been very tragic, but if you recall that experience as a learning experience that pivoted you to become a better person that you are today, the narrative about what happened changes automatically. You can recall that experience as a lesson learned rather than a negative event. That event made you wiser today, or something good came out of that incident. The story changes, also the narrative changes, and the way you recall that event changes completely.
It's important to analyze whether we are holding on to any false stories. Those false stories can be disempowering beliefs about ourselves that can weaken our core. What if you think wrongly that you are not good enough? What if that is a wrong narrative about something that happened to you a long time ago? If you want to make fundamental changes, then change the narrative and the beliefs associated with it. Cut away what no longer serves you and rewrite your narrative. If you want to rewrite your story, then do it, because you are indeed the editor of your own life story. Change the stories about why you can't have what you want. Choose empowering stories. Analyze your excuses. Get rid of the stories that weaken your beliefs. Take charge with a belief that you can make things happen no matter what the obstacles are. Build narratives that will make you stronger to face challenges intelligently and to overcome obstacles diligently.
One of the best ways to tell yourself empowering stories is through visualization. Visualization is telling yourself the stories of possibilities. It's imagining the possibilities in your mind as if you're experiencing it with all your senses. As you keep engaging in deep visualization, your mind begins to believe what you imagine. The truth is that the mind can't differentiate between what is real and imagined. For instance, I want you to close your eyes and imagine your dining table, and there's a bunch of fresh lemons kept on a tiny basket. You reach the table, you pick one lemon, you smell it, and you're biting into that lemon. And as you're biting into that lemon, you can feel that sour juiciness, and your mouth is already salivating. That's the power of visualization. Because your mind can't differentiate what you imagine and what is real. And as you imagine positive outcomes, your mind believes in it, and it develops strong neural pathways to turn what you imagine or turn what you visualized into a reality. Therefore, visualize the new stories or possibilities. Let it override on your unpleasant memories. Visualize what you want. Give yourself that new narrative about what you can accomplish and what is possible by you. Change the script, and you will see a new life unraveling in front of you.
The stories we tell ourselves, whether it's true or false, ultimately change what we believe we're capable of, and in turn, how we behave. If you have not become the person you wanted to be, it's just that you have not reached there yet. There is always a possibility that it can happen. Entertain the narratives of possibilities and not limitations in your story. That's when you choose to believe. Choose to believe in yourself, in your own potential to have and be anything that you set your mind to. Let your empowering beliefs overtake the limiting situations. Let the new beliefs you acquire show you a new path.